Okay. Um, so yeah. Yesterday I went live when I opened prints from a friend, and my reception was horrible when I watched it back. So hopefully,
Eh, you're coming through in 144p. So
yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say I don't know if that is me, like a setting on my end. Let me try to change it to a standard. Supposedly, if I'm on standard definition, it's supposed to maybe be better or easier to get the reception. I don't know. This particular laptop is on a Wi-Fi, and it's not as good as the one I was using before. So, for those of you that are watching, I asked Mike to be here with me to while I open this, because these are posters of a print of a. It's a pic. It was a picture of a painting that I digitally manipulated and enhanced and did all this photoshopping with, and I had someone ask for a print, and so I'm like, well, let me just order a whole bunch of them.
yeah. Why not?
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna order, they better not. What is that crinkly? The crinkly look of that, like that better not. That better not mean they're ruined. And be upset.
Ooh.
Look at that. It's just on the end though. So
Oh, okay.
they're mushed in between stuff. So yeah, I think I mentioned to you, I got this artwork from my painter friend Kate Krasinski, the one who was on my show. Did you see those prints? I think you did. I think you hit love. Oh my god,
Possibly.
she's just insane. Her work is so good. Okay, so here. Ooh, that's a no. These aren't prints. Actually, these are posters. They're not prints. Sorry, they're posters.
Nice. Yeah,
Isn't that nice?
it is. Yeah, but yeah, you want like I assume they're not too heavy paper.
No, and that's a good point. I have it. I think it's on my order thing. I'll look at it and send it to you. But I do know. So you were suggesting, a couple of you guys were suggesting a flat top loader thing as opposed to rolling them,
Yeah,
right?
but looking at it, like that looks like what 11 by 17.
Yeah. So they're 11 by 17s, and I don't remember. I think the weight or whatever is I'm sure it was in there. But yeah, they're 11 by 17 posters. They're not prints. They're not actual photo prints.
Yeah, you might want to
This looks
just get
nice.
it like for since they're pretty floppy probably.
Yeah, they're. I don't think they're not intended to be a print. So, but
Yeah,
that
no. So
is
in
super
that
freaking
case,
awesome. Like it, I I've never had any of my. I have some similar to this that are printed actual photo prints, but they're not this big.
yeah, you might just want to get tubes for those. Like
Yeah.
it keeps them a lot safer. Like if you do original art, you get the please do not bend. I got them here.
Like I did when I sent when I sent Papa when I sent Pops artwork and my friend Sean. I sent Sean something, and then I sent Meredith and Nita stuff. And I was like, "Do not
Like
bend on it."
these. Like
Is that
these are
the flat top loader thing you were
yeah,
talking about?
these are flat top loaders with a backboard.
Okay, because I saw those online. Where now you're in the Netherlands, so I would imagine US would be probably a different distributor.
Well, you can probably get them pretty much the same from in the US.
Yeah.
They're just a standard A3 thing, like backed and boarded. But for posters like that, just get tubes. It's much easier. You take the ends with the cap on it, and that's it. Because
Yeah.
they will bend. Um, Original, like if you get original art, you don't want to bend that. If you get hard prints, then you don't want to bend those. But for just posters like that, yeah, just go for tubes. Like
So,
if people want to frame them,
so if I were to, because I'm so what you're, because I saw those tubes. So you're talking about like this, basically
yeah,
doing. Okay, I saw those tubes. They're the smallest one was like $2 or $3, and then the girl at the postal place that I go to, she said that at most shipping, if it's in the U.S. for one of those tubes, she said it's not going to be more than $5, depending on where
yeah,
it's going.
yeah,
So
and
okay.
it's especially if you could get like the 1-inch tubes, which is fine for these. They fit in a mailbox.
They have square ones from the U.S. Post Office. Are those any better than the circular tube?
No, it's actually it doesn't make a difference.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'm so excited. As you know, I ordered these with no knowledge of what I was going to do with them. They could just sit here and look pretty until I decide what I'm going to do with my haiku series or with the book. Technically, she goes with the book I'm doing now. I started lurking on websites that do hardbacks because I've published 8 books so far.
Yeah.
And this one is the most ambitious, most colorful, most painted, most illustrated, most everything that I've ever done. And I'm like, I might want this to be an actual hardback.
Well, go for it. See how much 100 costs. Go for a crowdfunding campaign and go for it.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty much. I'm probably about a month away from the artwork being done. Because it's written, and I will need to at some point think about having someone else read it or having someone help with the editing. But other than that, it's at least that part was done. The writing was done. Like technically, I could slap this into a self-published book and move about my life if I wasn't going to actually illustrate it. But as you know, I let me just overachieve.
Welcome to my life.
Oh yeah. This is why we're instant friends, because you get me. You get like, oh yeah, this girl, she's just like, I know exactly where she is. I've been there.
Oh yeah.
Right? Oh, well, I know, like, I hope I tell you this a lot. I hope I tell you it enough, but I probably couldn't tell you enough how much I appreciate your support. And
right back at you.
It's really super rare to have people support you with nothing without them wanting to have anything gained by it. And this has just been my experience in every industry I've been in, because I'm no spring chicken, and I'm not even gonna point out any particular industry. Not even the one we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, because in the end, yes, we all want to gain something, but that doesn't mean that we have to do it over someone else's back.
Yeah, what I was going to say was that it's definitely disheartening sometimes when people have to compete, or their competitiveness or their comparison issues or stuff like that gets in the way of relationships and friendships and being co-supporting of each other.
Yeah.
And so that was it was funny. And I don't think I told you this. I told Kate this, when the painter, when she was on my show. I think I was naive, thinking that the world of comic books would be different because they were comic books. And so everyone was going to be nice and everyone was going to be. And I had to, Mike, I wanted to call you Jimmy. I don't know. Do you go by Jimmy? Why do I want to call you?
Some people call me Jimmy.
I think that's why. So I had to, for me to kind of center myself and wrap my mind around this world, I had to get my thick-skinned comedy girl on, because as egotistical as some comic people have been, Not gonna name names. None of you guys, not even you. Of course, you not. You don't. I don't. Well, I know you have confidence. I would definitely not say you're an ego monster of any kind at all. Zero. Okay. Anyway,
No.
I'm not articulating myself well. But what I was gonna say,
I get you. Don't worry.
male comics, male comedians. Oh fuck, that's a shit show of ego. That is a walking, talking cockfest of ego. You, whew. So when I was telling Kate, I'm like, that's what I did. I just sat back and I'm like, oh, I got this. All I had to do was shift this into the world of comedy. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm okay now. It took me.
You gotta boast what you got. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm fucking 11 publications right now. That for an indie creator, that's fucking gigantic.
Let me see your rack behind you.
Yes, people love my rack.
This is the perfect opportunity for me to do an on-the-spot spotlight of Mike. And for those of you watching, because we do have people watching, you're more than welcome to ask him a question. This is definitely not someone new to the industry, not new to doing this. And he just got this rack and those books. And so everything you've ever published is behind you, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And
So,
15?
sorry?
15?
11. So
11.
Love and Korra 4, which is on Indiegogo right now, is number 11. Uh-oh.
Do not. For
Uh,
those of you that just signed on, this is what Mike and I opened. I opened these posters. I wanted him to watch me open them because he gave me some tips on how to process these. Hi, Dustin. Is Doris a transgender? No. So Life on Korra, you were saying.
So Life on Korra was the first comic we did, Unseen the Ritual. Then we did Over a Coffee, which is an anthology with a lot of our webcomic friends.
Nice.
Then we did Flying Words, My Cup of Tea. I did Infinite Guardian. Life on Korra is ongoing.
What's it?
What?
Tall Tales? Is that one? Is that another one?
No. These are.
That's Daphne.
Yeah, it is.
Tall Tales is Daphne. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched her yesterday. I spent part of my lunch hour with her when she was working yesterday at lunch. She was sketching.
Yeah,
painting.
she's awesome. I love her stuff.
And I've read the first Incontessi. I've read that one. That one's really good. It brought me to tears. Yeah. So the one you sent me the link for today, is that behind you?
No. That is only on Tapas.
Ooh.
And because it's my very first comic.
Okay.
So like the first pages you're seeing there are literally the first pages I ever made in a comic.
What? I feel like I got sent a treasure trove now because seriously, and it's funny you were talking about the art because Daphne actually was maybe you should talk to her because she talked about that very thing yesterday. She's apparently redoing, or she's doing some coloring. She's coloring some artwork in a series of hers from before, and she was just talking about that. I think that her insight of the things that she's been going through doing that might be helpful for you to make that decision about what you would do with it. So I'm going to post the link. Woo, okay. So yeah, I put the link in comments for anyone watching. Basically that would be the one work that is Mike's that he doesn't have behind him.
So then there's a couple of normal prose books, these three.
Right.
So Flying Words is an anthology by 11 web novel writers.
Oh, wow.
Of 6 to 10K words each.
Okay. So you have some work in there. It's like a collection.
No, we only publish this.
Okay.
So
You
it's by all the different creators. We only published it under Fairies and Ends.
Right,
Same with
okay.
Over a Coffee and My Cup of Tea.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
Then we got 2 tiny books by my ex, A Demon in Mike, which was technically just a love letter that is hilarious, and you should totally read the 10K word. Like, it's a fucking tiny book, but it's adorable. I'll send you one with Laughing Cora. You'll love it.
Mike,
And-
you know, my projects have projects, okay? But I am I am going to have some time freed up in my life in August, as I mentioned before. So that should help with that. And then what was I going to say? Oh, so what you're saying is that Fairies and Ents could like have a conversation with me about the 2 children's books I have and what might happen.
Yes. Yes.
Because one is called Dragon Scales.
Mm-hmm.
And what did I call the other one? Oh my God, I'd have to look it up. I had 3. In total, I had 3 children's books, and I did publish one of them called The Love Cloak. It was a story about a magical cloak that when you would wear it, you would feel loved. And then
we're actually doing a Korean drama series about
Ooh.
that.
Nice. Well, this one, it turns out that the ant didn't realize that when he would put it on, he was usually with his friends or with his new friends, and he wasn't realizing that the love was not even coming from the cloak. That's kind of the point of the story. And it's not just a story like children's book. It's an actual coloring book. I did it. It is like the most super simple, basic stick figure straight drawing, sketching of any kind. It is nothing like what you see behind me on the wall. Let me tell you that, because not even close. Not even close. But I did it to get it out there and to be done. Like,
So,
Yeah.
my ex wrote Laughing Cora 1 and 2. Well, mostly. And A Flying Tusker is the prose version of Laughing Cora 2.
ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's the only writing we've published so far. And trust me, I'm not. I would need an editor in my team in order to do more prose, because don't ask me ever again to edit 120K words.
Yeah. Well,
Because my ex, we actually hired 3, like we hired 2 editors
Mhm.
for Flying Words. Both disappeared halfway through
Oh,
completion,
right.
and then my ex broke down, so we lost all 3 editors.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well,
that was a
I
shit
know.
show.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of the talk about editors, and I know, like, for my first 2 poetry collections, they're so super basic, and most of the poetry was so super old. Could it have been edited and better? Probably, of course. This this Magic Man that I did earlier this year, I didn't have it edited, but I by the time I was done, there's a few of those I actually can recite almost word for word. And because I did the music album, having to produce the music and then speak to the music and perform the speaking, by the time I actually sat down and did the book, and when I do edit my book, now I don't plan on editing this one. I'm not anywhere near close to it being ready for someone to sit down to edit it. I do intend to get someone to help with that when the time comes, because a lot of the poems in this collection are poetic stories, poetic romance stories, poetic short stories. I mean, it's all written in a poetic form, but a few of them are definitely, I wouldn't call them prose, but they're definitely in a place where I'm going to want someone to edit them. And I don't plan on doing the spoken word poetry stuff first, which is the only reason I did that with Magic Man was because it was a suggestion of a poet named Douglas Kearney. he believes that once we say it out loud, we can key in a little more to how someone would read poetry. And so that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why he performs his poems to hear it, to hear the wording. And he doesn't have, and he said not, he didn't, not often, but he has had to rewrite things. He has had to use a different word. I've done that. I've been in the midst, like even when I have one of my poems that I'm actually putting it in this book. It's in Magic Man, but I'm actually putting it in this book simply because I am not okay with the fact that I use one of the words in it. I use it twice, literally like right after each other, and I'm like, every time I hear it, I'm like, ah. So I'm gonna remaster that one. And you know, that's the thing I've chosen to do today is like, you know what? I get on my boss, which is me, and go, hey, you got to remaster Dead and Gone. And so I'm going to remaster it. I'm going to remaster the vocals. I'm going to remaster the words. I'm going to take that extra word out of there so that I can stop cringing when I fucking hear it. And it's suitable. Actually, it was originally intended for a collection that had nothing to do with Magic Man. So it's fine. So
okay, I really have to head out. It's 6:15.
I'm so
I gotta be
appreciative.
in the office in 15.
Okay, you go. Drive safe. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye,
Yes,
everyone.
take it easy, sweetheart.
Okay.